Bardzo proszę, Curtis Synod, potem Sir Robert.
I want to thank the petitioners for coming, and particularly for showing us the pictures. I think that, as so often happens, by showing the pictures, the Commission has been able to see that they've been duped. That the answer given by the Irish authorities is simply not true. I hear it over and over again with petitions here, and it's only when we can actually see it for ourselves that, you know, it sounds so good on paper, and then we actually see it and know that you're being lied to. But there's something much more important that I think the Commission has to understand about this situation. That obviously this is an impossible situation for people to live with. But what you may not realize is this is a weapon of war. That the reason this waste is here is that gangs rooted in drugs are using waste as a way of getting rid of decent people out of neighborhoods, which then provide them with the community that they need to operate. And that they don't just dump waste. They burn out cars, they burn out houses, but much more importantly, they attack human beings, they intimidate old people, and they murder. And we buried Roy Collins last week, a man that witnessed against the gangs in the past, was brave enough to do that. We've buried people like Shane Gowan, a very popular sports figure in the area, who was caught in the crossfire, if you like, who was killed in place of someone else he looked like. And that this is a war. And we come to you and say, if we can at least deal with the fact that they're breaking the waste directive, we might get, you know, win the first battle on this war. But I would also put it to the Commission, and it may not be your section of the Commission, that we have to look at this in the context of the European strategy on drug trafficking. Because that has no borders. Drug trafficking goes all over Europe and indeed all over the world. But it does have centers of control. And these neighborhoods, the poor, innocent, decent people of these neighborhoods happen by geography to be one of those stations in the European network of drugs. And I think the Commission needs to investigate this from the angle of drug control and trafficking as well. And I'm very glad that the Commission was open and have now seen and are willing to go back and investigate, because there's a very serious situation going on here in the midst of a highly developed Western country. And people are counting on Europe because their own authorities have done nothing.
Sir Robert Atkins, później Declan
Chairman, I do think, as always in this committee, we have to be a little careful in not getting too heavily involved in the substance of something which may well affect planning authorities, the social services of both the country, the council concerned or whatever, because we are, after all, the last resort for citizens who can come and present a grievance to us. That caveat having been entered, I agree entirely with what Cathy Synod has said. It strikes me that up till now, the Commission have had the wool pulled over their eyes. What I see here is an absolute disgrace. We've seen it in various parts of our own constituencies on occasions. I know when I was an Environment Minister in the UK, if this had come to me via a Member of Parliament, I would have put a management order on Limerick City Council and demanded that they did something about it. It proves the very fact that they feel that there is a problem by what Mr. McCarthy has indicated, namely the threat of coming here. Such is the power and influence which we command, or not, as the case may be, but nonetheless, that the situation has improved. That is evidence that they realise there's something wrong. There's nothing that annoys me more as a Member of Parliament if an agency says, upon me taking a case up, well, since it's you, we'll fix it. This should be fixed, period, by the authorities concerned. And it appears to me, not knowing the area or not knowing the people, not knowing Limerick, that they have failed miserably to deal with the problems of local residents. And if we can bring any authority or power to bear, Chairman, upon Limerick, and more especially within our control on the Commission, to ensure that where it is necessary to do things, that they are done, and that they are checked, and that the Commission is wholly satisfied that it can then report to us, whether in the near future or after the elections, report to us that this matter has been resolved, so Mr McCarthy and his team don't have to come again, then we will have achieved success, but we must do it.
Tak, proszę Państwa, ja tylko chciałem, bo dużo osób chce zabrać głos. Zgłosili się jeszcze David Hammerstein-Mills, pan Meyer, pan Martinez i pan Bustinaro. Czy jeszcze ktoś chce zabrać głos, bo ja będę musiał sam głos. Dobrze, Cathy Synod na zakończenie. Zamykamy wobec tego listę. Przypomnę, David Hammerstein-Mills, Meyer, Martinez, Bustinaro, Synod. Proponuję po 2 minuty, dlatego że to niestety nam weźmie za dużo czasu. Rozumiem, że to jest przyjęte. Wszyscy mają mówcy po 2 minuty. David Hammerstein-Mills, 2 minuty.
Sí, gracias. Muy brevemente, los vecinos han acertado en venir aquí cuando hay un problema que perdura en el tiempo, cuando es un problema de degradación que no encuentra recurso de las autoridades locales o estatales, han hecho muy bien en venir aquí. Esto no quiere decir que la Comisión Europea tiene la respuesta directa a estos problemas. Pero la mediación de la Comisión de Peticiones podría apoyar para encontrar una solución y presionar. El hecho de hallar el problema aquí es positivo y muestra el papel de esta Comisión. La Comisión Europea ha hecho también muy bien en contrastar las informaciones proporcionadas por las autoridades locales con la realidad y en comunicación con los peticionarios, cosa que aconsejo a la Comisión de hacer de forma habitual. Entonces, estamos ante un problema que es un botón de muestra de la falta de tratamiento de residuos, que al mismo tiempo es emblemático de un problema social mucho más amplio que no podemos solucionar, pero sí que deberíamos arrimar el hombro y presionar desde esta Comisión, porque la Comisión de Peticiones tenemos este papel ante la voz de las personas que no lo encuentran. Gracias.
Dziękuję bardzo, pan Meyer.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Bueno, la verdad es que estamos ante un escándalo. Yo creo que estamos ante un caso